Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
You drop your car off at the dealership to have some work done on it. They call you later and go, oh, we got a problem. Your car was involved in an accident. And they always say it passively like that. Your car was involved in an accident. They don't say, one of our porters wrecked your car, because that happens from time to time. And I've actually handled cases about those situations. And one famously I talked about several times involved a porter who took a car for joyride at lunch, wrecked a car of my clients, and then they called and said, oh, there's been an accident with your car. There's been an accident with your car, which is a stretch from what really happened. But here we got a case out of Texas, I believe. KPRC2 investigates. SUV left at dealership for its first oil change, totaled. Owner told dealership's not responsible. So who is? Amy Davis wrote the story, and Amy Davis is their consumer reporter. Griff sent it to me. And Amy writes, when you take your car to the repair shop, you expect to pick it up in better shape, not worse. One woman called KPRC2 after she said a car dealership mechanic wrecked her vehicle, and the dealership's not taking responsibility. You got to understand this will vary wildly from state to state. Michigan's got a law called the Garage Keeper Liability Act. If you entrust your vehicle to somebody and they're working on it for money, once it's in their possession, it's on them. But not all states have got that law. So here, the woman was so happy and proud of her brand new 2020 Ford Escape when she bought it in December. It looked perfectly fine when she dropped it off at the dealership for its first oil change and some warranty work. And when she saw it again, the vehicle was a total loss. I was shocked, she said. I couldn't believe it, and then I immediately became angry. She said that the dealership employees were defensive, telling her that while their mechanic was driving the vehicle during some repairs, another driver failed to yield the right of way. That driver turned in front of the mechanic, causing him to hit that vehicle. The police report supports that and assigns all the blame to the other driver. So, woman takes her car to the dealership for work. The mechanic takes the vehicle off the lot, presumably to test drive it. Let's give the guy benefit of the doubt. He's not joyriding, he's test driving the vehicle. Somebody else plows into their vehicle, okay? And it's not the mechanic's fault in the terms of the equation of how insurance works and liability in Texas. The dealership is adamant that the other driver's insurance should pay for the damage. But that insurance company says its client is only 70% liable. They say that the mechanic from the Ford dealership is 30% responsible, claiming he could have avoided hitting the other driver, but was likely speeding or distracted. The customer says the dealership just instructed me that I need to be in contact with Allstate, which is apparently the other driver's insurance company, and that they were not going to help with any of that part of this, and they would not claim it on their own insurance. That is, the dealership won't claim it on their insurance. Now, her attorney said, I would just think from a customer service standpoint, we try to be as helpful as possible in getting whatever the issue was resolved. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Ford dealership did provide her with a rental car for 3 weeks, but when they asked her to turn it in, they were still battling with Allstate, leaving the customer with no vehicle, no down payment, no settlement money, and a car loan she still has to pay. Her vehicle's still wrecked. It's just sitting there. It's wrecked. She said, I thought it was garbage. It's just not right. I was at home working. I wasn't even in my vehicle when it was wrecked. So the question is, what happens if a mechanic messes up a vehicle while in the shop? And this is from Texas. She's not liable at all because she wasn't driving the car, says attorney Ryan Marquez with the University of Houston Center for Consumer Law. Marquez said, while it doesn't seem fair, Walker's best option might be to file with her own insurance, get her money, and then let them go after the dealership, which might be the way to go. So it's unfortunate, but Michigan's a no-fault state. So when you get involved in a typical fender bender, you file a claim with your company, I file a claim with my company. We don't even argue back and forth. And people go, why do they call it no fault? Shouldn't that just be called my fault? Because you get treated like it's your fault, I get treated like it's my fault. No, they call it no fault because government does that. They give these things innocuous names to confuse you. But it's weird. Someone can run a red light. A drunk driver can run a red light and T-bone my car. And my insurance pays for it. That's how it is. So, but we also have, like I said, garage keeper liability. And so when they have your car and they wreck your car, they pay for your car. That's how it works. And by the way, car dealerships routinely have policies that cover every car on their lot and every car in their possession legally. So this shouldn't be this complicated. It might be that this is kind of a, what do we want to call this? A dealership doesn't quite understand how things ought to work. I don't know. Even though it's hard to have that type of claim on your policy, it actually might be less headache and less stress in trying to fight it this another way, Marquez explained. So this is not a cut and dry case, Amy Davis writes. Texas has what's called proportional liability. That lets insurance companies assign liability to each driver involved in an accident, and the dealership's general manager would not talk with the TV station on camera, but he told her it is an unfortunate incident, but the dealership is absolutely not at fault. Well, according to the other insurance company, they're 30% at fault. But like I said, you'd think as a matter of goodwill, they would simply take care of the customer and then talk to their insurance about taking care of something. But like I said, every state is different. There's 2 or 3 fields where the law is radically different from state to state. One of them is auto insurance law, auto negligence law. One of them is property law, how the law involving property happens. There's some issues in family court that vary wildly from state to state, but this is another one. If this happened in Michigan, you'd have almost no question that the insurance company for the dealership would step up and take care of it, and then everybody else is sorted out later. But the fact that this woman's without her car this entire time while everyone's fighting over this is stupid. So, as the attorney says, she could file a claim with her own insurance company and then tell them, if you don't think that's right, then you got to go chase somebody else. And that's what they routinely do. And quite often, the insurance companies, once they all get involved, will get together and go, okay, how can we solve this at least painful for everybody? Because, the car was wrecked, but it doesn't sound like there's any personal injuries. So it's not the biggest insurance claim that any of these people have seen for a while. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, what's this car cost if it's totaled? It's simply cut a check. Somebody needs to cut a check, and they can figure out later who pays what portion of it. But it's a crazy situation. But I've had, on more than one occasion, where a dealership has a car in their possession and it gets totaled. And they call the client up first and go, yeah, can you file a claim with your insurance company because your car got damaged? And they're hoping you won't call an attorney because an attorney's going to say, no, that's not how it works. Now, your insurance company might also say that's not how it works, but your insurance company might pay the claim and then go after the dealership. You never know. But I've also had way too many cases. I haven't had any in a little while, but I handled, it seemed like it was almost like a second job for me, handling oil change claims, because I'd have people go into a quick oil change place and they sit in the car during the entire change. Hood gets dropped, they pay their money, they pull out, and they get a half mile down the street, and all of a sudden the dashboard lights up like a slot machine that just won a lot of money. And, we forgot to put the oil back in, or, we forgot to put the drain plug back in, or, we left the oil filter off, or just crazy stuff, weird stuff. And some of those, I've had it happen where an oil filter fell off a day later. Like it was on, but not tight, that kind of thing. And, it also had it where it got discovered very quickly. But the question is, how much damage gets done when you drive your car a block with no oil in it? So, like I said, I used to handle these claims all the time. It's been a little while. I don't know if the oil change shops are getting better at not doing that, or if they're getting better at paying the claims. It might just be that they still do it once in a while, but they pay the claims. I don't know. But I used to get those calls all the time. But it's sad in this case because she brings the vehicle in and they call her and go, your car is totaled, and file a claim with your insurance company. It's not how it ought to be. So Click 2 Houston, or KPRC Channel 2, ran the story. Amy Davis wrote it. Griff sent it to me. Thanks a lot. KPRC2 investigates SUV left at dealership for first oil change and totaled. Owner told dealership's not responsible. So who is? Questions or comments, put them below. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future.